commentary on that Mahakarunika Guhya Samaja Tantra, Guru Rinpoche commenting on the statement, the last line, the benefits of the making satsas, that says countless qualities will arise and your wishes will be accomplished. Guru Rinpoche wrote this: the satsa itself is nirmanakaya. The mantras you recite while creating it, and the mantras or syllables of mantra placed within it are sambhogakaya. The one-pointed samadhi with which you make the satsas is dharmakaya. So therefore, in each satsa, there are complete representations of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddhas. That is why making satsas has so many immeasurable qualities. When the Tantra says all your wishes will be accomplished, it means that in the short term, all impediments to your pursuit of the path will be removed, and ultimately you will achieve the trikaya of a perfect Buddhahood. So this is wondrous, he writes, because you achieve the most wondrous thing possible, both the ultimate achievement of Buddhahood and the immediate removal of obstacles to that achievement. In his commentary on the Mahakarunika Quintessence Tantra, Guru Rinpoche wrote, again in the context of the yoga of making satsas, fourth, the necessity for satsas. In the Tantra it says, rebirth in a pure realm will be accomplished by that. What that means, he writes, is that in the best cases, by making satsas, you will be reborn in Sukhavati. Intermediately, you will be reborn as a Chakravartin. And at least, you will be reborn in this world, a world with Dharma. You will have a long life and good health, and eventually you will achieve the state of Buddhahood. There are similar statements about the benefits of making satsas in the section on the yoga of satsas in the mind sadhana of the quintessence, also Ratna Lingpa. This is all from Ratna Lingpa. In short, if you want to gather the accumulations of merit and wisdom, and if you want to get rid of all of the various impediments that obstruct, prevent, or slow down your path, there is nothing more powerful, nothing more beneficial you can do than making satsas. And this is taught in many sutras and the tantras. In particular, making satsas for the benefit of the deceased is especially powerful, because it includes or incorporates in it a number of profound and a vast variety of means of benefiting the person, and in particular of purifying the karma that would cause them to be reborn in a lower state. In the Tantra on the collected rituals of Manjushri, it says, the great means of purifying lower rebirth for those who have passed away is to, out of their bones or their clothing, or even with their name written within it, make and blessed with the mantras of the wisdom body, to mix these with the other substances of which the satsa is to be made, into a mass of clay with the 5 jewels. A tantrika in the state of yoga should therefore make countless satsas in this way, inviting the deities from space mixing them non-dually, presenting offerings to them, and then properly consecrating the tsatsas. So in that way, to benefit the deceased, you can mix some of their bones or ashes, or some of their clothing, or even write their name and put it inside the tsatsa as it's being cast. Similarly, in the Tantra on purification of the lower realms, it says, or if those have disappeared, Rinpoche said that means if you can't get to the bones or ashes of the person, then while reciting the purification dharanis, write their name, even just their name. And having done so, create a mala of stupas, and what that means will be explained in a minute. Or form their image. Perform the fire puja and empower them, the stupas. Without any doubt, that person will be reborn in a higher realm or a happy place. And then elsewhere the Tantra says, calling them by name, write the mantra and their name with fine saffron, and then gradually create 100,000 of such stupas. In order to purify or exhaust the wrongdoing of a, we could say, sinner, make 1,000,000. This will, by doing this, even if they have already been born in hell, they will definitely be liberated. Rinpoche commented at this point, this means that even if the person, and this will be explained in a minute, but even if the person has passed out of the bardo and already been reborn in hell, you can get them out by doing this. You will also liberate them if they have been born as a preta or an animal from their suffering, and they will be reborn in the land, in the realm of the devas. So, what this quotation from the Purification Tantra means, to crunch the numbers, is if you're trying to benefit a deceased person, the number of tsatsas you need to make will correspond to how good or bad they were. Not to be judgmental, but as a practical matter. If the deceased person did very little wrong, then you need only make what's called a mala of stupas, which means 100. And to make a mala of stupas, that means if you have the 8 stupa tsatsas, you need only to make 12 of them. So by making 12 tsatsas for a person who did very little wrong, you can free them from the lower states, because and don't think that because they did very little wrong they might not be there, because it takes extremely little wrong to be reborn in a lower realm. If the person was sinful, did a lot of bad things, then you need to make 100,000 stupas. So if the tsatsa mold you're using is of this type, the 8 stupa tsatsa mold, then for their benefit you would need to make 11,112 tsatsas. If you're using the 100 stupa tsatsa mold, then you could free them from the lower realms, Chame Rinpoche says, with 1,000 tsatsas. If the deceased was really bad, did some really bad things, then you need to make 1,000,000 stupas. So that would mean if the tsatsa mold is the 100 stupa tsatsa mold, you would need to make 10,000 tsatsas, and if it's the 8 stupa tsatsa mold, then you need to make, Chame Rinpoche says, 10 times what I said before. That will definitely free them from a lower state. If the person engaged in immeasurable, powerful, extreme wrongdoing, then you need to make 10 million stupas. And this is simply 10 times the foregoing multiplied accordingly. In the section on the dharani of purifying veils or obscurations within the Akshobhya Tantra, it says, write their name while reciting the Akshobhya dharani and create 100,000 stupas. Offer to those stupas parasols and victory banners and other banners or flags, and then cast those tsatsas into the great ocean or into a river. And this will cause that being or those beings to be freed from hell and so on. Now, in these cases, you are either placing the name of the person inside the tsatsa, or mixing the material, the clay, with some of their bone or ashes. If you make a tsatsa that includes either the name or remnants, body bits, ashes, whatever, of a deceased person, an ordinary person, you want to help them, you must put the tsatsas made where nobody is going to circumambulate them. Because if somebody who has more merit than that person, or greater qualities, circumambulates them, it will backfire, it will hurt the person, not help them. As we know from the story of the Tirtika teacher, Usung Dzogche, which Rinpoche will explain later, it comes later in the text. That's one thing. So first of all, the tsatsas that are made with body bits or names must not be used for circumambulation. They must be put where no one will circumambulate them. And then, in the case of the Akshobhya tsatsas, they are thrown into the water. That is the only time you throw tsatsas into the water. According to, Chame Rinpoche says, according to Lord Chichi Wongchuk, Kunju Yenlok, and Taktsong Lotsowa, it is wrong to throw other types of tsatsas, even the ones with body bits in them, in the water. Only the Akshobhya tsatsas. That's a unique feature of that particular technique. Tsatsas can also be made containing the essence of interdependence mantra, and Rinpoche said the tsatsa on the table before him contains that. Or contain simply the 3 syllables Om, Ah, Hum. And such tsatsas can be used to purify wrongdoing. In the Tantra requested by Pungzong, it says, a stupa of the Sugata that includes the essence of interdependence mantra, these should be made in order to purify wrongdoing. Also, in the text on the making of tsatsas that's part of the mind sadhana of Ratnalingpa, it says, first write Om Ahum, then whichever essence mantra you are seeking to accomplish, so the mantra of Yuryadam, then the 100-syllable mantra, then the essence of interdependence mantra. Write these at best in gold, intermediately in silver, or if nothing else is available, in ink, and then place these inside the tsatsas. Understand that by doing so, you will cause each tsatsa to be a complete representation of body, speech, and mind. Now, with regard to the materials of the tzatzas, in monasteries, traditionally, tzatzas would include all different sorts of grain, different sorts of medicinal herbs, different sorts of jewels, tea, molasses, and all sorts of nice foods. And then also powder derived from blessing substances, such as relics of great masters or materials they had blessed by breathing on them, and so on. And that's traditional. But if you don't have those things, you can still make tzatzas. Even if inside the tzatza you just put 7 grains of barley, that is sufficient to make it authentic. Finally, Lord Atisha taught that there are 9 types or 9 purposes for making tzatzas. He said, first, make tzatzas in order to fulfill the wishes and vision of your spiritual friends. Second, make tzatzas for the benefit of your parents, to repay their kindness. Third, make tzatzas in order to purify your own contravention of your training, so the pratimoksha, bodhisattva, or mantra vows. Fourth, make tzatzas for the benefit of others, especially those who have done great wrongdoing. Fifth, make tzatzas in order to prevent yourself from falling under the power of false spiritual friends and sinful companions. Sixth, make tzatzas for the benefit of all beings. Seventh, make tzatzas for the benefit of those who are at the point of death. Eighth, make tzatzas for the benefit of all beings presently in the bardo. And ninth, make tzatzas for the benefit of all beings without exception.